Each time I've spoken here, I've asked a question. I'll now answer it. Mr. President, with all respect that is due, what happens if one assumes the presidency by placing his left hand on the Word of God, and then with his right hand enacts laws that war against the very same Word of God on which he laid his hand? Such an act invokes the judgment of the Almighty. To swear an oath on the Word of God on which it's written, defend the weak and do not murder, and then to not defend the weak, to not protect the unborn, but instead to advance their murder, is to invoke the judgment of the Almighty. To swear an oath on the Word of God in which it's written, do not cause your brother to stumble, and then to seek to force those who uphold the Word of God to transgress the Word of God by partaking in the killing of the unborn and the celebration of sin, is to invoke the judgment of the Almighty. And to swear an oath on the Word of God in which it's written, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people, and then to take part in the leading of a nation away from the eternal rules of order and right that heaven itself hath ordained, and against the very Word of God on which you laid your hand, is to invoke the judgment of the Almighty. When the leaders of ancient Israel turned away from God, when they abolished his precepts and broke his covenant, they did so in the shadow of Moses, whose voice cried out to them in warning. Mr. President, when you address the nation from this house, look up above the senators and the representatives, above the Supreme Court justices, and above the invited guest, and you'll see a face, the only full visage in that wall. Looking back at you, it is the face of Moses. And if that face could speak, it would say this: no man can overrule the laws of God, no order can annul the order of God, and no judgment of man can stand against the judgments of God. Invoke not his judgment, but choose life. Lead in the way of repentance. Invoke the grace of God that he might have mercy on this land. We've come to a most critical moment. As Elijah stood on top of Mount Carmel and cried out to Israel in his hour of decision in between two altars and two gods, his voice now cries out to America and says, choose you this day whom you will serve. 70 years ago, the chaplain of the United States Senate cried out with the same voice and said to this nation, if the Lord be God, then follow him. But if Baal, then follow him and go to hell. Tonight, America stands at the crossroads. And as Elijah came to the summit of Mount Carmel to make a declaration, we've come this night to Capitol Hill to declare that our God is not Baal, our God is not Moloch, our God is not government, our God is not money, our God is not power, not pleasure, our God is not political correctness or any other man-made thing. We've come to this hill to declare that there is only one God, and he is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's the God of Israel and of all nations. He alone is the rock upon which this nation has come into existence. And from this high place we make this declaration: we will not bow down our knees to Baal. We will not bow down our knees to political correctness. We will not bow down our knees to a morality that is as shifting as sand in the wind. We will not bow down our knees to the laws and precepts of rebellion or the sacred vows of moral apostasy. We will not bow down our knees to the idols of man. We will not bow down to Baal. We will bow down our knees only to the Lord our God, come what may, and we will have no other gods before him. For some trust in chariots, some trust in princes, some trust in Supreme Courts, some trust in White Houses, some trust in governments, some trust in Wall Street, some trust in powers, and some trust in idols. But we will trust in the name of the Lord our God, in the name above all names, above all kings, above all powers. We will trust in the only name given by which we can be saved. We will trust to the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, the King of all kings, the Lord of all lords, the Judge of all judges, the light of the world, the glory of Israel, the foundation stone upon which this nation came into existence, and the only answer, the only chance, and the only hope that America has, that it might once again shine with the light of the fire of the presence of the glory of the living God and not go to hell.
Hello, I am Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew, and you are watching the Lampshades Current Events. End of days. The world is changing, O Israel. Freakish weather conditions, super tornadoes, typhoons, tsunamis, record-breaking flash floods, droughts, famine, pestilence, and hunger. In addition, we face global instability, financial crisis, the fall of the U.S. dollar, civil unrest, a police state, the RFID chip, aka the mark of the beast, leading up to World War III. One world currency, one world religion, one world government, aka the New World Order. And did I mention aliens, bro? No, the Lampshades Blood Moon Saga complete series has ended. But it's done. You can go back at any time and watch all 7 seasons. Check out our journey from when we were, coon Christian pastors, and how it's changed to finding out the truth and knowing that we were Israelites from the tribe of Judah, and finding out who the real God was and is and will always be, and that's Yah and His Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. 7 seasons come and gone. But make sure, because you don't know when the internet's going to go down. You don't know when any of the calamities that are coming that will come to pass. Will make viewing the internet, will make viewing websites and things that you are used to seeing online no longer accessible.
So we're going to make change, but it's not going to be Obama change. Remember Obama? Change. This is going to be real change.
Donald Trump has over half the delegates he needs for the Republican nomination, but today conservatives in his own party are searching for ways to stop him.
Washington, a group of grassroots conservatives met privately Thursday to plot how to take Trump down, issuing a statement saying, quote, "We are committed to ensuring a real conservative candidate is elected."
Live pictures right now in Phoenix, Arizona, and what you see is a traffic jam there. A number of people were holding signs preventing those vehicles from passing. We understand this is Shea Boulevard in order to get to the Donald Trump scheduled event.
If and when the Vatican is attacked by ISIS, which, as everyone knows, is ISIS's ultimate trophy, I can promise you that the Pope would have only wished and prayed that Donald Trump would have been president.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
I think you'd have riots. I'm representing a tremendous, many millions of people. In many cases, first-time voters.
The president. I guess I have to do it myself. I know it's not.
It was a wonderful, meaningful endorsement in every way, and I was very proud of it.
Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren?
You guys have got to try the cold chocolate. It's very You guys have got to try the cold chocolate.
Talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren.
You guys have
Hello, and welcome to another episode of E.T.C.E Current Events. I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew, and today we have a very special guest, Priest of the Most High, Sakuma Zingami Lambew. He's going to be here, and we're going to talk about the third presidential debate, the state of the race, and of course, jumping around to some of the other debates as well to bring in some contextuals. But right now, I want everybody out there, all of our viewers to recognize and let's get a chance to really dive a little deeper into this. All right. Priest of the Most High, Sakuma Z. Lambew, welcome to the show. I'm glad to be here. Again, I'm not privy to doing the show as much as I would like to, and it's always an honor and a pleasure to be on this show and talk about real life issues as it pertains to the end of days. Now, in regards to the presidential list, the debate, the third debate out of the last debate, final debate, now, just to make sure everybody knows, we don't support either candidate, whether it be Trump or whether it be Hillary Clinton. We are just talking about these issues because the Most High's Son, Yahshua Mashiach, told us to watch. To be watch people. To be watch and to obviously not to sleep. So we're looking at the current politics, the political world, the military, what's going on in the Middle East, and we're also looking at the signs of the end of times, with the dead fish, the dead birds, earthquakes, typhoons, and so forth. So this is just a part of that watching as the end of days plays out. Now, did you, in regards to the third presidential debate, what were some of your anticipations or some of your thoughts going in? Did it go just on a general the way that you thought it was going to go in terms of a flow? Yeah, I did actually. I felt, just to get it out there, I felt that Trump won the debate. How he won was a lot different than expected. With the second debate, he was very aggressive. It was a lot more mudslinging than on the third debate. The third debate, he tended to counterpunch in ways that wasn't so negative. It looked like he was pacing himself. It looked like that he was confident. It looked like he knew that he was winning and that he didn't have to go for broke in order to win. I think that Hillary Clinton in this debate was a lot scripted, and she tends to be scripted. A lot less scripted zingers than she had in the second debate, and far less than she had in the first debate. The first debate, she had zingers that actually hit flush. The second debate, she had zingers that didn't actually hit flush, but at least she was throwing them. And then in the third debate, she had the least amount of written in zingers, and it would just seem like she was just reading from the script. Now, why do you think that is? You think it because, as you said, she was reading from pre-memorized lines and whatever. Not for the last two debates, no surprise that she still had that same presence come this third debate. But why do you think she didn't have as many zingers? Why do you think that was? What's some theories about that? I think that she didn't have as many zingers as she did previously because they recognized her handlers recognized at some point that the zingers didn't come off as natural. Okay, whereas with Trump, his zingers comes off more naturally. Like when she was telling him, it's good that you're not leading basically, I'm paraphrasing, but basically you ain't leading the law enforcement department, whatever. Yeah, and then he was like, because you'd be in jail. I mean, that came off so natural and so true that it demanded a response. And so she stopped doing the whole zinger thing because it just looked so scripted with her. And also it allowed Trump to be able to come with a counter zinger that was much more fluid, much more realistic, and it hit a lot more harder. Okay, so I think that's really one of the reasons why I say, stay away from the zingers. Remember your talking points in regards to your attacks. Okay, and try to and just go away from trying to make people laugh or make it more humorous because she's not a very funny person. No, most definitely she's not. And it makes a lot of sense that they would try to keep her away from the worst thing about pulling off a joke is if you don't pull it off, if it falls flat. And worse off, it continues to fall flat, makes you really look like a chump. So it makes sense that they would keep her away from those zingers, as per you were saying. Maybe another just an additive to that is the thought that there's so much stuff that were going on in the background, in terms of the various information that was coming out on the campaign that they were obviously trying to prep for to some degree of how to deal with. And it's kind of like with Trump when he was dealing with the different things that was coming out with the tape that was released about him. The last thing you want to do is be sit there prepping with zingers. I mean, because you gotta expect these things to come at you, and you gotta be able to address them. Now we can get into, and we soon will, I'm sure, whether she addressed it well. But that's obviously the background.
Before we move on, just still about these zingers, there's also an authenticity problem that she has.
Yeah.
Okay. She's very unauthentic. Okay. Now, just throwing this on a spiritual tip, I mean, we know this woman is a devil worshiper. Now, the world may not realize that, and again, I cover the Bible study series, so I want to bring it to the spiritual element as well. But it's obvious that she's a devil worshiper, and when you worship the devil, that he takes your soul. Okay, so she isn't just dry because she was born that way. She's not unauthentic because that's just her personality. Because her dealings with the devil, or dealing with these dark spirits, doesn't allow her to be happy, free-go-lucky, a positive personality. She's drained. So everything that she's doing in this regard is fake. And obviously they want her not to do these zingers, because when you're, talking to somebody, you throw out a little joke, it's a little humorous, little, happy-go-lucky, that is in a spectrum that she's not dealing with. She's dealing with a darker spectrum. And it was really nice when, in the third debate, when Trump was basically talking about this, not in a spiritual element to it, but by saying basically that she was angry.
Yeah,
yeah, when he was saying that she was angry when her gun bill didn't go through. Now, usually when somebody doesn't do something, or somebody fails at something, anger isn't how they describe it. They describe it as, disappointed, or
most definitely,
they were disappointed, but they don't say I was angry because it didn't happen. That shows that there's something there, and that something is the spiritual annotation to her being a witch, a Satan worshiper, and that Satan don't give joy, he don't give true happiness. Okay, and so she's only dealing with hatred, anger, and that comes out with all these wiki links in regards to what she said about religion, what she said about Bernie Sanders supporters, what she said about his supporters, calling them deplorables and unredeemable. I mean, why would you put the word unredeemable in unless you knew something that they didn't know?
Yeah, well, the whole thought of unredeemability of basically the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white man, is that deal that they made with the fallen angels, with these devils and so forth. And for her to even mention that they were unredeemable is kind of like a wink-wink saying, they're under contract and they're not going to get out of it, no matter what they see coming up on the horizon. Plus, with the background stuff, you got, not to get off topic a little bit, but Putin talking about if they do more sanctions on them or whatever, he just might talk about planting the brood truth and basically give legitimacy to this event that he believes, and that many people on the alternative media believes could be life-altering, planetary-altering event. So for her to say unredeemable, looking at the fact that we're also waiting for the return of the Most High, this may play in at some point or another to that in the redemption of Israel. But back on the subject. One of the things that I think is very interesting too about just the spiritual connotations, and we talked about that too as well, as the audience pretty much already knows in the analysis of debate number 2, and that is that there is a spiritual warfare that's going on between these fallen angels, these Nephilim, these hybrids, and Trump, Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white America. And you can see that. But it's interesting when you said that she was an angry person based on the fact that he called her an angry person, and she didn't deny that. She didn't deny it, and she didn't go against. She didn't say, "No, I'm not angry." She didn't say, "Well, I was just." She didn't give us no
She didn't give the American people no context behind what he was saying, and she didn't challenge it. Matter of fact, she didn't challenge him on like 95% of his points. But where I was going with it specifically is to say that, you know, it was clear that she was in fact an angry person, but also she had nothing to off-balance it with. With Trump, he may be arrogant and so forth, but he talks glowingly about his children. He talks glowingly about his wife. He talks glowingly about his family, about the people that he's worked with along the years. Hillary Clinton don't talk glowingly and lovingly about anybody or anything. You know, I mean, the best thing, best consistent thing she says about her husband is during the Bill Clinton years, you know, the economy was good. You know, the best thing she says about her daughter, Chelsea Clinton, is crickets. I mean, she don't say much of nothing. And you can see how Trump puts in these more positive aspects of his life and his environment into these debates and into his overarching communication with the public, where with her it doesn't. So when he said that she was angry, I personally thought he was out on the limb a little bit with that. Because all it would have taken was, hey, you don't know what's in her soul, you don't know what's in her heart. How can you say, no matter how much you observe, that she had anger about any particular thing, unless she's willing to say so? And it was one of those a few good men moments where he was like, you had anger in your heart, they cut him off, and she confirmed it rather than denying it.
Well, I think those people have to realize too that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and Trump have a relationship. I'm not sure whether people talk about this a lot, but you know, there's pictures of them going to golfing together, Hillary and Trump laughing together. I mean, so they're not like strangers. So for her to try to create some sort of narrative that you can't trust Trump, you can't trust Trump. If you can't trust Trump, then why the hell were you friends with him for over 30 years? Okay,
Yeah, good point.
okay, that's the truth. I mean, you know, you were friends with this dude, you know, going place with this dude, going on vacation with this guy, and then all of a sudden, and before he went for president, you actually went to his, went to his wedding.
Yeah.
If he was so dangerous, why the hell are you going to the nigga's wedding? Okay, so that's obviously a farce. Okay, there's obviously something that they're trying to push out there so that she can win this election. Okay, the truth is, if he was good enough to be your friend, then he should be good enough to be the president, and that says a lot because Hillary Clinton is as crooked as a $3 bill, right? So, you know, for her to have a friend in Donald Trump, that's not necessarily a good thing, but it does show hypocrisy when she's here trying to tell everybody in America to be very afraid of Donald Trump when it was obviously she wasn't afraid of him, nor Bill was afraid of him, going golfing and having this cordial friendship relationship that they've had for all these years. You know, the very interesting. And by that same token, having a little balance as well. If you look at Donald Trump, he's been saying some pretty tough stuff about Bill, and the fact is, they were friends on the same token. I mean, they did go golfing and everything else, and I think this information about Bill Clinton and his indiscretions has been out there for quite some time. So the thought that he wouldn't know about Clinton's past, I mean, he was able to rattle off the fact that he lost his law license. He was able to rattle off the fact that he was impeached when he was in trouble in that second debate. So the thought that he would be friends with him for 35 years or whatever the case may be, without knowing that information, is a little bit far-fetched. Now, to his credit, of course, he does say that he was an insider. You know, I think that's really the difference between one of the differences between him and Hillary Clinton. He's willing to own some of these things. Yeah, he was an insider. Yes, he knew the Clintons. Yes, he says it himself that he gave to both Republicans and the Democrats. He said it himself, everybody loves me, so to speak. You know, so I think he really from the jump kind of bracketed himself better for those realizations to start coming out, because he was already pretty forthcoming with it. Where Hillary Clinton, you would think that this guy was a complete stranger to her, because she tries to make it seem as if, like you were saying before, that he's some predator, that he's had all this trouble with women, even though they're laughing like some schoolyard. Well, she's a woman and she was friends with her for 30 years, so that's obviously ridiculous. Now, everybody know he was a playboy. Everybody know a rich man. You know. I think it would have been more shocking if they had discovered that he was gay or homosexual.
Exactly.
If he was messing with the little boys, that probably would have been more cutting against his
a Batman, Bruce Wayne type of persona, in which he's here fighting for the American people. He's not what America wants, but it's what America needs.
Yeah,
I mean, he has that whole Batman, Bruce Wayne persona where he's Batman, he's helping the American people, but yet he's Bruce Wayne as well, and he's messing around with these women, he's trying to have a boisterous life, so that people don't realize that the Batman and the Bruce Wayne is the same person. I mean, they're both Trump, okay? Trump's been talking about saving this country for over 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just something brand new. At the exact same time, he was still being at Playboy. He was still, dating those women, still getting married 3 times, and and all the other stuff he was doing. So people know what Trump has to talk about because he's very so far he's been proven to be honest. And
so far,
and she's been proven to be dishonest, to be a liar.
Yeah, most definitely.
Now, of course, he's an Edomite, and again, we don't support one over the other. Okay? Esau's bitch. Yeah. We don't support it. We don't give a fuck. We are the children of the Most High. We're waiting for the Most High to come through. But just in truth, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk in truth. In truth, when it comes to Trump, he's honest and she ain't honest, okay? At least that's the byline. That's the byline. That's what we've seen so far. He's been talking about the country for 30 years. And
yes.
If he was lying about it, or if this was a new idea for him, then he wouldn't have video 30 years ago talking about how America's fallen and now a great leader needs to rise up. Is necessary.
And weird enough, odd enough, he's been making the same political points for 30 years. I mean, the whole build a wall, I mean, the whole make America great again is sort of trying to come back from what he sees as some of the failings of the presidency these 30 years. I mean,
we're on the contrast. Hillary Clinton, she had a lot of his same points earlier on, but because of special interest, because of her deal with the devil, she's flip-flopped, okay? She used to believe in a wall, a barrier, so to speak.
And he brought that up in the debate as well.
And she flip-flopped on it. Now she don't believe in the barrier. Now everybody must come in. Those things are because of her lobbyists, because of the elites, because of all those countries that are pouring money into her campaign. I mean, that's just obvious.
Qatar, Middle Eastern.
While at the same time she's screaming women's rights and gay rights and Muslim rights to come to America. Look, Muslims and gays don't get along.
Yeah,
okay. The Muslims
and Israelites don't get along.
Muslims, we talk about the Muslims because the Muslims physically do things against the gays.
Oh yeah, most
the Israelites, we don't give a damn about gays either.
We'll shake our head, but that's about it.
Yeah, but we're not stoning them, okay? Because we don't have our power. Our power ain't here yet, which is the Most High Yah. Now, when the Most High Yah comes, then we have the power. Then there ain't gonna be no debates, okay? There's not gonna be no governmental debates, okay? So with the Muslims, on the other hand, how can she say that she's for bringing these people from Syria and so forth? These Muslims, they're not Muslim terrorists, right? But they're just Muslims. When the Muslim faith is very aggressively against the gay agenda. In fact, they go forth in killing and judging gays to death. Now, even the Christians supposedly don't like gays, but they don't kill them. The Muslims do, and you can't bring people who are used to killing gays and lesbians and think they're just going to go ahead and be nonchalant in America while America's pushing gay and homosexual and transgender and all this other filth. Those two things aren't going to come together no matter how much time you give it. Unless that was, of course, the plan. I mean, unless the plan was to bring these two volatile groups together in order to cause chaos. Chaos, what is it? Order out of chaos, which is basically the elites' thoughts in regards to how they're going to get the new world order into play. Now, don't make this, don't get it twisted. Hillary Clinton is a whore for the elites. She does everything they say. She's a mouthpiece for the elites, okay? So we already know that George Soros and their Agenda 21, and they also go with the biblical account as well. They want to decrease the population on the earth from the
500,000,
8 billion, 9 billion to
500
million.
500 million.
That's a huge decrease, like 98% of mankind being destroyed. Now, don't take my word for it, just Google Agenda 21, okay?
Or Google Georgia Guidestones.
Georgia Guidestones is right there. I mean, this is what they want, okay? And Hillary Clinton is their mouthpiece. That's the reason why they keep on talking about Russia hacking their emails, Russia's doing this, Russia doing that, Russia's the big bad boogeyman. Same thing they do with Libyan, Muammar Gaddafi, same thing to do with Iraq, same thing to do with Syria, with say, Bashar al-Assad, whatever. Same thing they're now doing with Russia. Now remember, with all these other people, They invaded, they had wars and so forth. So for them to do the same thing with Russia already let you know that they want that nuclear war to jump off so that 98% of the world can be killed off, and they can then rule what is remaining easier.
Much more easier,
They won't have to worry about these debates and these lies and these other things because they'll have the power to be able to control those people's lives from cradle to grave.
Yeah, because you know, having to constantly lie to these people and having to constantly play these games, these televised games, this wagging the dog type of stuff when it comes to political mess, judicial mess, governmental hoopla is tiring as fuck. I mean, they just want to be able to rule the world, sit down, point at their minions, chop off people's heads that don't agree, and go about their day. So there is a push, and also with Esau coming up in these end days, played by the role of Trump, you're seeing a whole lot of stuff coming out about the government, the way it runs behind the curtains. I mean, the Matrix is literally being destroyed.
Well, in the scriptures, it talks about Babylon's skirt being raised up. The Most High is going to raise up the skirt of Babylon, and it will no longer be called the queen of the nations, or basically no longer called Virgin Babylon.
Well, wait a minute. So what you're saying is that by maybe possibly what's going on with this presidential election of Trump bringing out all these secrets about America, about what they're really doing political overseas with these wars, these warrantless wars and whatever, and the fact that it's so public with Russia, China, North Korea, everybody watching the presidential election and whatever, the presidential debates, by him bringing this stuff up, you're saying that maybe a form of Babylon having her skirt lift up?
Yeah, we already know that per the scriptures that America is Babylon. These white motherfuckers don't want to recognize it, they don't want to believe it, but it's true. Okay, and the world looks at America as being a virgin, and we've never had a fight with foreign powers on our sovereign land, except for when we broke away from Britain. And we have never been occupied by anyone after that point, okay? Yeah. So we're a virgin in regards to the nation of the other nations, because I look at Iraq, look at Iran, look at all these other places. At some point in history, they've been invaded, they've fought in their own hometown, and so forth. So with these leaks of WikiLeaks, the Edward Snowden, all this other stuff coming out, is because the spirit of Babylon is being lifted up, and people are realizing, hey, this ain't a democracy, and this is a farce. Okay, and the voter frauds and dead people are voting.
Wow.
And people are voting from multiple states in the election. And people are voting without ID cards and so forth. People who aren't even citizens of the country is tossing their vote in for Hillary Clinton. Why? Because they know that when if Donald Trump becomes president, me personally, in the scriptures, I don't believe he's going to be president. I believe that even if he does win, if he wins, that a major event is going to happen prior to him actually taking control.
Whoa. So you mean to tell me,
that's just my own personal belief,
and our audience, that there's a good possibility that even if he does win, which everything is looking in terms of if they don't cheat, he did a powerful maneuvers in the first debate, even though she still got maybe a technical edge on him on the first debate. But ever since then, the second debate he blew her away. The third debate he blew the rest of whatever was left away. You're saying that if all goes to what it should go, should it not have any shenanigans going on, that he should win, that he could win, and if he does win, that there's still a possibility that a false flag could go off, or Russia, America, the way Obama is pushing Russia and egging them on and bringing in more troops, that's something that actually kick off in order to stay in power for Obama?
Well, let's not get it twisted, okay? First of all, in the first debate, she won the first debate. We all know that, okay? He had a good jab in there, which is like a straw that twists the mind. He talked about the $20 trillion debt.
Yeah.
Okay, so even though he lost the first debate, because he threw in about the $20 trillion debt, it made Americans start realizing that there's something more bigger than these side stories. So even though she won the first debate, she really lost it because he brought to a realistic debate where she wanted to be more fantastical. America's as good as it's always been. America never stopped being great, and all this other BS. But when he put that $20 trillion debt in there, that made people start waking up to something's wrong. The second debate, she tried to get him with
this whole kissing people, you know. This guy loves kissing people, man. My dad loves kissing people. You know, when I ain't visit my dad, the first thing is propping his lips to kiss somebody. That doesn't mean anything. Okay. Now he talking about some girls and what he gonna do, grabbing them by the. You know what? I mean, you know what man hasn't talked about something similar? I've talked about it probably even worse than that. Okay. In my life outside of this truth. Okay. Because now I can give a hell about a woman. You know, fuck a bitch. You know, pray the Most High. She ain't righteous, and ain't no woman righteous during this 400-year captivity. You know, so I ain't even think about women right now. Okay, most definitely. Pray the Most High. But the thought that a man wouldn't talk about women who were in the life like Trump was in the life is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and plus if you look at like you know, the rappers and any of the other people who have been successful in this world, I mean, the stuff no one's talking about, the stuff that now they talk about, but the stuff that they do with damn near complete
now, of course, you hear these guys talking about, well, they're not running for president. I mean,
so what does that mean? Michael Jordan could never have ran for president because, you know, obviously he had dealings with women, and I'm sure they have people on tape saying things
is the truth
at some point or another.
They can't be on the moral high ground. Okay, first of all, Hillary Clinton and her husband is a fucking dog. They're gay, they're bisexual, and they do all kind of stuff, raping, you know, all kind of crazy things. They're into it, okay? So they're in the high road when it comes to that. And this country ain't in the high road when it comes to that either, because they're the ones who validated gay and homosexual marriage and transgender filth. What's morality in a man cutting off his rod being a woman than having sex with another man? That's crazy to me. So you can't go into the high road of how women should be treated. At least he's a heterosexual male talking about the pleasure that he has going after heterosexual females.
Maybe that was the real issue. Maybe the real issue was Obama and Hillary Clinton loving their gay agenda or whatever was mad because somebody in such a public view and running for president was actually into regular women.
And women should love that. They should love the fact that men are interested in them, because if they wasn't, then all men would be chasing men, and where would women be at that point? Okay, so you can say, oh, I'm so offended. Well, how can you be offended with a man saying that a woman is beautiful, and a man saying that he desires to have that woman? I mean,
most definitely.
It is what it is.
It wasn't a bit an adult conversation.
Yeah, it was in private. It was in private. They didn't know there was a hot mic on there.
Most definitely.
I mean, if they knew it was a hot mic, then they would put their PC shoes on, I'm sure.
Ain't it interesting, though? They catch Trump on a hot mic, and he's talking about bitches. They catch Obama on a hot mic, and he's talking about Putin and Russia and what he's going to do once he gets out of the presidency.
Well, you know,
that's going to be very interesting.
Even more interesting than that is when Hillary Clinton got her emails that were supposed to be private hacked and shown in WikiLeaks, the only thing she can say is the Russians did it, the Russians did it, we shouldn't be talking about stolen things. But yet, where's all that outrage when Trump is talking a private conversation with this Bill guy, whatever his nigga is, Bush guy.
One of the Bushes, Billy Bush or somebody.
And it gets recorded and it gets released. But yet no one's talking about, hey, these are released, this is fully private, we really shouldn't be watching this or listening to this. So it's a double standard, it's hypocrisy, okay?
Same double standard they used when it came to his taxes being stolen and released without his consent. How no one said, hey, this stuff,
these are stolen
documents. Why are we talking about it? Why are we putting on a 24-hour loophole in the media? No, it's just like, that's good reporting, but all of a sudden when it comes to Hillary Clinton, why are we even talking about stuff that's stolen?
So we gotta be able to, the Bible teaches us about having the power of discernment. We gotta be able to differentiate between spin and information, truthful information. Okay, spin is their own personal opinion, and they're trying to move and motivate people to agree with their opinion, even though their opinion don't agree with the facts. Okay, and obviously the truth is just the truth. It's not spent from one side to another side. It is what it is. Is it true that Bill Clinton was accused of rape? Yes. Is it true that Bill Clinton was with Monica Lewinsky and got impeached for it? Yes. Is it true that Bill Clinton told the American people that he didn't have sex with that woman, which was a lie?
That he lied to the American people, and it was because of his lying to the American people that ultimately he was impeached.
And just like Hillary Clinton talked about, she didn't receive or send any classified emails, and then Mr. Comey coming around saying that was not true.
Yeah.
So
she was like, I did not have
private relations, with that undisclosed server. And she did. And that's the way it is. I mean, they're confirmed liars. They lie for a living. Okay. Now the question that people want to have is, again, it doesn't really fair us. We're not Americans. We're Israelites. Okay. But what people want to ask is, do they really think that the American people is that dumbed down, that deceived, that brain dead, zombie-ish, that they're willing to ignore the facts about Hillary Clinton and her lying and her corruption and her, backroom deals that she even talked about in the WikiLeaks, and still vote for her to be president of the United States, and then not want America to truly go into a destruction mode. Priest Most High, what do you think about the fact that the tapes came out proving undercover tapes of Hillary Clinton's camp people, people who were working for her, basically being honest about rigging the election and about causing violence and mayhem in Trump rallies as the plan in order for the narrative to be that he's causing racial divide in the country. Now, is this like that Black Lives Matter thing that came out where they was talking about shutting it down, and so Obama could maintain martial law and whatever. Look, the truth is that Lambew ministry has been talking about these people being paid actors way before this came out. Most definitely. Okay, if you look at our post, my own personal post in Facebook, months before this came out, I was already, saying, that these guys looked like they were paid actors. This looked like they were staged. And maybe I'll put that in the link below. Yeah, and one of the episodes, prior episodes, I was talking about the exact same thing. That these guys looked like they were paid actors, George Soros, and the whole outside chaos to create more militarization. So we talked about that as well on this show. So what you gotta understand is the only reason why these people, Hillary Clinton, can do all this deception, can pay people to create violence to try to push the narrative, and then the media pushes that narrative without even thinking of checking the sources or doing anything of that nature, any investigative journalism, is because they're all in cahoots. Okay, it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy fact. Okay, that Hillary Clinton, the media, and with the cover, political cover and legal cover of the White House, that's Obama for you, President Obama, all going against Donald Trump to try to stop him from legitimately winning the election. Most of that. Now we all know that the American people, the mass majority of them, are down with Trump. Okay, not us. Again, we don't get anything out of this. We're just waiting for the Most High to come. But just in truth, the majority of America appears to be behind Donald Trump. You can tell by the great number of people in his rallies and so forth. Now they're going to say, oh, well, it doesn't matter how many people it is. It's about the electoral college. Basically what they're trying to say is they're going to try in order to undo the will of the people. So you got to cheat in certain key battleground states, and then the other one they already know they're going to win anyway. It may be difficult to try to cheat every single state, but they cheat in certain individual states, and then it goes normally like it normally would, he would lose. And they want to say they didn't do anything. Of course, this is on Donald Trump on that way. I mean, do you pay people to look at these polling booths? Do you pay people to watch? Do you tell your fans or your people who are with you to go to these polling booths and watch? Now, surely there's a lot of polling booths, okay, but it's definitely the battle key states. You're going to want people down there to look around and make sure everything's going to up and up. And also, you're going to want to continue doing what he's doing, which is going to these rallies and telling people to watch. And telling law enforcement to don't drop the ball on the voter fraud. Make sure dead people ain't voting for Hillary, to make sure people ain't busting people in from different states to vote twice or 3 times or 4 times in an election, to make sure these immigrants who don't even have visas or line cards are voting for Hillary Clinton. These are some corrupt people, and it'll be up to Trump and his campaign to make sure that they're ahead of it. Because in all reality, their message has already been out there. People already know now. Now they got to have a message to make sure that people's eyes are open for the November 8th election. Another good key to have in an attempt to make it more difficult for them to cheat, which of course they're going to try anyway. But they have to try because it's clear that they're losing. The exit polls, they get people to go around and just count the people who say they're for Clinton and the people who say they're for Trump. They get added up themselves. When they were charged with messing around with the exit polls before, when the exit poll was showing that it was a major percentage different than what they said the outcome was, what did they do? And this was during the primary with Hillary versus Bernie Sanders. What they did was they realized that the exit polls were showing that they was cheating, so they stopped taking the exit polls. So if Trump people or whatever were not going to have some of their people out there taking these exit polls, then it wouldn't matter whether the government took the exit polls or not. They would have the exit polls, and the exit polls would at least provide them a certain look at how much cheating is going on.
Well, it's funny because President Obama was saying that the elections aren't rigged and so forth and so on. Okay, but it's so anyone would be ridiculous to even listen to that dude. I mean, that dude is obviously tripping. Yeah. Okay. It's obvious. Obvious that the WikiLeaks show that there is collusion. This Washington Schultz one person made sure that Bernie Sanders didn't win the election. Now they're not supposed to take sides within the Democratic Party, but yet they're taking sides and they're pushing all their weight behind Hillary Clinton. If the superdelegates didn't show you that at the very beginning, all the superdelegates going over to her, she could have won with the superdelegates without getting one vote from the American people. I mean, this is a rigged system, obviously. I mean, obviously, it's rigged. And they protect the riggers. I mean, speaking like you were saying about Debbie why that bitch in jail right now? She's not in jail. She may have been basically let go from the DNC head, but then she gets a nice pussy job working directly with the Clinton. And you know, if Clinton wins, she's gonna be in the White House now. In the White House. This is collusion. This is riggedness. This is wickedness. But see, the Most High is showing the hypocrisy of America. Oh, most definitely. And it's all hypocrisy. I mean, how it used to be, at least the thought was, that you were given credit for being honest, trustworthy, that sort of stuff. And those are the kind of people that you would want to be in major positions or whatever. Now, this girl seems like the only thing that makes her a must-have for Hillary Clinton is the fact that she's absolutely crooked. And looking at these videotapes where they were going over the staffers and whatever, how crooked they were. I mean, they were actively, literally talking about rigging the election and having voter fraud and thinking of new ways in order to defraud the American public and steal the vote of the American public. And they was actively talking about creating violence and so forth. No one's looked at Hillary Clinton and said, not only is this, except for Trump, not only is this illegal, should be illegal, but again, you know, who is going to go to jail? Not only is Hillary Clinton protected like she was with the emails, her people are protected too. Those guys got fired. They didn't get put in the back of a paddy wagon. Well, America is damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they elect Hillary Clinton, they're danged because she's going to start a war with Russia, and that's going to be World War III. Most definitely. Okay, that's what the whole no-fly zone over Russia. The generals have already said if they maintain a no-fly zone over Syria, their ass is going to go into a war with Russia. They asked her that too. Yeah, and she didn't really give it. She didn't change her opinion. She didn't back down from it. Why? Because the elites want a 98% drop in the world population. They got nuclear bunkers. They got bunkers that are as luxurious as a mansion. Okay, with swimming pools on the ground. As luxurious as Trump Tower, right? Yeah. They got places in these bunkers that they're going to run away to when the bombs start to drop. And you and those who are watching this who are not Israelites, who haven't been in the second Exodus, who ain't the 1/3 that's going to walk about of this. You guys going to get blasted when those nuclear bombs drop. So, you know, that's the truth, okay? So if she wins nuclear war, now that you ain't going to be able to, biblically, you're not going to be able to get away from that anyway, but, you know, just in this particular forum, you know, that's one option. Second option, if Trump, and of course if Trump loses too, you're going to have anarchy in America because people are going to realize that this shit's rigged and there are going to be people who are going to rise up and you're going to have the police state bearing down on them. So it's going to go all bad and quickly. Martial law be called and so forth. That kind of good stuff too. You know, so martial law will be called and then that's another reason why it was so important for people to realize, come back to the Most High Spirit and truth. Okay, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, unless you go back to the Most High and take your love and your affection out of this world. Okay, now if Trump wins,
if Trump wins, then the elite's going to crash the economy. Ooh. Yeah. They're going to dump the dollar like lickety split, and they're going to leave him with a complete crushed economy. Yeah, a bunch of IOUs that when you look at it, all it says is "Make America Great Again." Yeah, right. Yeah. So when the economy crashes, there's going to be anarchy, and he's not going to be able to make America great again when it's broke. That's their hand against Trump if he wins. And then, of course, with that sniper's assassin bullet. Yeah. So they're going to crush the economy, and then they're going to make sure that he don't live beyond the chaos, and then put it in the public government, if they had the time. Before the anointing get lit up and this really gets started, because we're really at a precipice, and the closer we get to that inauguration day, the more these forces are all tugging at one another. It's like a powder keg that is just ready to explode. To be honest with you, I was amazed that this even lasted past the 3 debates. I thought there was going to be some sort of bomb inside one of the debates, and they both get blasted. I mean, I really didn't know that it was going to get beyond to this stage, that the elites wouldn't do something prior to this in order to cancel these elections. Because the closer they get to that election, the more pressure they're receiving, both internally and also in these elites in other nations. To stop Trump no matter what. I think they thought they had him with the leaked tapes that was him talking about women. I think they thought they'd have a little bit of that. They followed through with the 10 some odd women that went and said that he broke them and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you have to. I'm sure our audience must understand. These are things that's ruined many different attempts at the White House. I mean, they said some stuff about John McCain and that. Yeah, but he's been with Playboy. He's been with owning a beauty pageant. He's been in Access Hollywood. So he's been all around. Women and him is like duck to water. Yeah. So that's not going to hurt him. The elites are going to recognize at some point that the only way to stop this dude is to assassinate him. That's what the elites are going to find out. They're going to come. They've already had it in their own elite cards or whatever. Illuminati card game talking about the assassin's bullet. So they're not keeping that off the table. They're trying to beat him by crook, by snook or whatever. But when they realize this can't happen, then that card is going to be their last play. What Trump needs to do is Trump needs to make sure that he got his bulletproof vest on and that his eyes are always watching. And he got people around him that he knows. That he has a personal relationship with. He's famous for knowing the people who work for him. Yeah. He's going to have to make sure he knows the Secret Service who's working for him, because they're going to need to be on guard. He's already had an attempt against his life already on the campaign trail. So he already knows that the possibility of them trying to take his life to stop him is one of their last and biggest plays. And he's also had a lot of death threats and so forth for his children, his wife, his daughter, and so forth, whatever. And we've talked about that before, that in the second debate where Hillary Clinton was saying that she really liked and respected his family, his children, that was really a mafia-style threat. And after looking at these videos where they talk about inciting violence, it's not so far of a leap now to say that she was literally putting the word out, wink, wink, wink. Hillary's the cartel, man. The Bill Clinton cartel. I mean, they have their foundation so they can wash money. Oh yeah, money laundering. And yeah. I mean, that's and taking bribes, cleaning the money. Yeah, and if that was anybody else, they'd be in jail right now. Even with the thought of the possibility they'd be in jail. Yeah. She actually had facts coming out with WikiLeaks and everything. She's getting immunity from everything. Okay, these guys ain't trying to get her for anything. Yeah, she has a license for immunity. And it's also interesting that when at the height or even at the earlier onset of the scandal when it came to the 30,000 emails or whatever and the private server, notice how she kept saying, I'm not the only one, everybody knows, and he's really hinting that there's a lot of people involved. So basically, wink, wink, you don't want to touch me because they got a blackmail file that could take down the whole government, including Obama. Yeah, he's talked to her within that private server as well. But look, the truth is, they really feared the law, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. So obviously, they have the reins of power, corruption, And so they know that even those cops or those FBI agents or CIA agents that want to do the right thing, they're outnumbered probably 10-1, if that little. It could be 100-1. Okay, so they got the government lockjaw and bunker. What they don't have is the American people, because the American people are looking at Trump like it is written, as if he's going to be able to extenuate their time. And that's what it's all about. They know this country is corrupt and wicked. Ever since back in the day when they were lynching our people on trees, with their Bibles in their hands, having a picnic.
Yeah,
where was the police then? Yeah. Where was the FBI then? Where was the murder charges then?
Where was James Comey?
Yeah, where was law and order then? That was a part of law and order back in those days. So where this country has began, they had no place to go. They just want to extenuate their time, kick the can down the road, so to speak, and allow their great-grandchildren to face the judgment of the Most High. That's also written in the scriptures, that they want to extenuate the time. And the Most High has already said that he will not extend their time. So even though they're looking at Trump as, okay, he can reset that clock, okay, in all reality, the Most High had already seen this coming a long time ago, and Trump is not going to reset that clock. In fact, what he's doing is showing everybody the need for America to be judged.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, great point. So his Make America Great Again matched with his law and order. Really, he's calling judgment upon himself, is what you're saying?
I'm saying he's calling judgment upon America, judgment upon his people for the crimes that they've committed against the children of the Most High, bringing us into slavery, 1619, and then killing, murdering our children, feeding our children to crocodiles, throwing our people off the boats as they would come into America, the rapes, the lynchings, the forced captivity for almost coming to 400 years. He's basically saying, hey, we're hypocrites. Everything we're asking for, we didn't do, and we didn't provide to the children of God when we were ruling the children of God. And they're going to have to pay for that.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. And a very, very good point. Love how it really coalesces with the timing that we're living in, the calamities that are going on, both politically, economically, and with the war going on in the Middle East, and all these things are culminating, and then here he comes, and he's talking about law and order and being basically recompensed for what he thinks is the issues, but the reality is these Edomites are talking about themselves, and the hypocrisy of their government is really just a reflection of the hypocrisy in this nation as a society.
Well, think of this, right? These debates ain't gonna change the water in Flint, Michigan. These debates ain't gonna lower the earthquakes happening all around the world and in this country. The droughts, the floods and the droughts. Okay, the superstorms, the dead fish, the dead birds. This debates ain't gonna change the pollution in the sea, the Fukushima radiation that's killing the fish, or the fluoride in the water, or the chemtrails in the air that's killing people. These debates ain't going to change the perilous times that we're living in. Ain't no one can change those things. Why? Because the Most High is spilling out his wrath upon this wicked country. But the whole point in the scriptures was, when he was saying that he's going to lift up the skirt of Babylon, is before he judges these people, he wants them to know what it is that they did to acquire judgment. He wants them to know about the corruption in the government. He wants them to know about the Israelites coming up to their heritage and letting them know, hey, you put us in slavery and captivity for almost 400 years. He wants them to know about all the sick abortions, the gay and homosexual marriage, the transgender filth. He wants to know about their crimes so they can't be delusional as the nuclear bombs are exploding.
Wow. Definitely. There's a lens on this presidential election and this time period that you really have to have the spirit of truth and sincerity in the relationship with the Most High in order to see. And that's one of the key things about the Israelites, our brethren and ourselves out there pushing this truth, is that you really can only get it from them, from us. And it's such a blessing to be able to translate that for the people and to give them those glasses to be able to see what's going on that they otherwise wouldn't have and wouldn't be able to know. So, absolutely excellent. So,
in regards to also going back to the debate, in regards to the debate, Trump actually won the debate, in my opinion. He had a better beginning, middle, and end. His closure was better too. She was saying some high platitudes, her last remarks where he was actually trying to direct his attention to the African American and Hispanic community. Now, of course, we're not the African American community. Okay?
No,
we're the Israelite community. The Israelite community. But those blind, African Americans who, still in the paradigm between Democrats and Republicans, he made a final plea to them to trust him versus trusting the Democrats who've been screwing them over for upcoming over 400 years, okay? Coming up to 400 years.
A long ass time.
A long time. So, now of course, one man can't save Israel. No. The Bible says in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68 of the Bible, in the end of it says, no man shall save you, except for the Most High.
No man shall buy you.
Yeah, no man shall buy you, no man shall save you. We're just translating it. But except for the Most High. So Donald Trump isn't our savior. No. Donald Trump is the one that these Edomites put their trust in. And the deceived Negroes who don't know who they are, who don't want to know who they are. Okay, so Donald Trump in and of himself is just a pawn in the game to show these Edomites their crimes. Oh, yeah. Because they've been living in delusion for 400 years. Okay, and so that strong delusion, they gotta start getting sober. They gotta start waking up,
No, oh yeah,
and that's what Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is that wake-up pill to let them know your end is here, and this is how, and this is why you're going down.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that you got the Israelites in Scripture out there every day talking about, or out there many hours talking about the crash of the dollar, talking about the World War III that's coming up, talking about the economic, social, political rifts that are ripping this country apart. And the Edomites, some kind of white man, don't seem to give a damn about none of it. But now you have Trump in this presidential election talking about, like a tenth of the stuff that the Israelites are bringing out every single day. And it's like, they just can't believe it. It's like eye-opening to them.
And they're listening.
They got all ears. While with the men of the Most High, they're constantly screaming, there's nothing going to go on, there's nothing going to happen, everything's going to be the same another 1,000 years from now. And yet he's saying, he's talking a fraction of what we're talking to you about, and everybody's listening. But I guess that's just how the scriptures say about how a rich man says a little bit of stuff and everybody listens, even though a poor person or a person on the bottom has all the kind of wisdom in the world, but ain't nobody gives a damn, basically.
Yeah. Right. And just a quick note, I did like the moderator for the debate number 3. The other moderators, the mixed breed Mamzer moderator in the first debate was whacked. Those men and female duo was whacked in the second.
And biased. Both these guys, all three.
But the third moderator, he actually asked Hillary Clinton some hard questions. He interrupted her a couple of times. He gave her a follow-up question here or there. Of course, not as aggressive as we want it to be, but at least he was fair and balanced. It seemed that he was fair and balanced.
It was also interesting how he would also bring up points that Trump didn't bring up, and then you hear that part where Trump was like, "Thank you." He was telling
thank you for doing your job.
Thank you for doing your job.
Because he's so used to people trying to screw him.
Yeah.
That it was almost amazing that somebody actually, came out to a point that was true.
Wow.
On his behalf, for his benefit.
Yeah, exactly. Now, don't get me wrong, the moderator did interrupt Trump too, and he had to tell him, excuse me a couple of times.
Yeah. But it was fair and balanced. Both of them having to do it,
Exactly.
I do like the moment where Trump was talking and Hillary Clinton interrupted him. He was like, excuse me, I'm talking. And she shut up and she not stopped talking. Trump is a man, okay? And I like that point because it shows the difference between a man and a woman, okay? Trump was interrupting her, obviously. You didn't hear her tell him, hey, I'm talking, please be quiet, and he'd be quiet. Trump is a man, he's aggressive, and she's a woman, she's supposed to be recessive, okay? And so when that moment kind of was a wake-up call for America in regards to this whole wickedness of gay and homosexual marriage, wickedness of transgender. It showed America that the man and the woman are supposed to work together, and that the man is supposed to be the head of the woman.
Yeah.
Thus, he told her to be quiet while he's talking, and she listened. And he interrupted her, and she didn't tell him squat.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's just realizing that there's a relationship between men and women. Trump is just an alpha male for his people. Okay, and they're trying to demonize him to make it seem like being an alpha male is bad and being a homosexual faggot is better.
Better male. Beta males.
You know, if Bernie Sanders had learned a little bit from Donald Trump and, you know, didn't allow her to squeeze his balls and let himself be more manly for his old ass age, then maybe he could have won.
Well, well, they were screwing him over left and right, but it was possible, like what Trump did, in terms of if he had an overwhelming majority, they would have had to let him through. But well, they don't have to do nothing. But we'll see. But nonetheless, though, with the whole relationship between them and how they talk to one another, how could anybody think that Hillary can deal with Putin? She couldn't even deal with Trump. Like, Putin, he's for his people, he's one of those alpha male types too. But the difference between him and Trump and Putin is Putin, he's actually the president. Trump wants to be. You see what I'm saying? So there is, and he has the command of nukes and all the other kind of good stuff. You know, where you got Clinton calling out Putin and calling out ISIS and everybody else, calling out everybody, but she's not able to deal with the opponent that she has right in her face that don't got guns, that opponent right in her face that don't have his finger on the nuclear button. She couldn't deal with the opponent with the alpha male that she was given with none of that kind of power. She couldn't deal with him, but yet we were to expect she's going to be able to deal in tight negotiations and eye-to-eye negotiations with these other elements that are a threat to, you know, white America. The aspects of Clinton is fake. Okay. The reason why I say that is because on these debates stages, we can tell that she isn't a talker. Okay. She doesn't know how to communicate with people in a way in which is genuine. She's just saying her points and then that's it. When it comes to actual conversation, she sucks. Now, so if she don't have a conversation, that means that she ain't gonna be sitting there having a conversation with Putin. She's just gonna be threatening them, saying her talking points, and then pushing the button for the nuclear bombs. Yeah, that's all she's gonna be doing. She's not gonna be trying to talk with them, trying to negotiate with them, trying to say her point of view, trying to understand his point of view, trying to come together with a consensus. It's not about that. She's gonna do her little thing in Syria or no-fly zone. Putin's gonna say, don't do it. She's gonna still do it, and then the nuclear war is gonna begin. Where with Trump, she may be an alpha male, but he still has the ability to communicate and to talk and to get to know somebody, understand their point of view, and then to debate with them in a rational way. Building relationships. So he's going to be talking to Putin, and he's going to be like, you know, trying to deal with them, trying to see how we can get an upper hand in the negotiations, but he ain't thinking about even trying to engage in physical war. In fact, in the debates, he made a very good point to say that Russia's nuclear platform and nuclear weapons have been upgraded greater than the America nuclear arsenal. And so he already recognizes that not only is Putin a strong man, but that Putin put money into offense. Okay, and you know, Trump is a counterpuncher. You know, and Putin is obviously a strong attacker. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, so one punch and you're done type. So these two guys, these two strong men, they're the ones that can work together to avoid, if it was possible, this World War III. We know for certain that Hillary Clinton's weak, tired, sick, crazy ass is not going to be the one to do that. Yeah, she's looking at death in the eyes, being carried into her van, about to fall out. Yeah. Whenever somebody's close to death, they're more able to push that nuclear button, because if they're gonna die, why not die with millions of people, billions of people with you? Yeah. That's what people gotta realize. She's so close to death that she don't give a fuck anymore. Yeah. She don't care. You know, she knows she's gonna die, so she don't have the resolve to make sure that your family, you, your wife, your children don't die right along with her. And you gotta take that into consideration. Trump, he's in the height of his life. Niggas standing up for an hour during the debates. Niggas having rallies 2 and 3 times a day. I mean, he flying his little Trump plane everywhere in his mama. And let's talk about that Trump plane for a second. Trump is using his plane, using helicopters to go from here to there. And her ass didn't have a Trump train or Trump plane. She didn't have a Hillary plane. She had to be using
Obama's plane
One at one point.
and then she went and rented a plane for her to use.
Yeah,
I mean, this motherfucker is greedy, cheap.
Oh yeah, all the money she
As
gets from all
hell.
these big businesses and stuff, they can't buy her a plane that's her own. I mean, seriously.
She's a rich person. Why can't she fund a little bit of her campaign? I mean, she got all these other people funding it for her. She's out beholden to all these criminal enterprises and all these foreign governments, but she won't put a dime to her own campaign.
Yeah, it's interesting when Trump called her out on that and said to her, "Hey, well, why don't you give the money back?" But he said also before, "Why don't you infuse your campaign with the illegal money that you got from the State Department when you were being Secretary of State? You got like $150 million richer and stuff, whatever. Why don't you put that into your own campaign so you don't need all these foreign entities and foreign, backers and all these people giving you money that are against the interests of the American people, so you can truly be able to be out there with the American people representing them." But she won't do it because she's too fucking greedy.
She's basically asking her, why don't you stop being corrupt?
Yeah.
She don't want to stop being corrupt.
Yeah.
She's gonna keep trying to get away with things, and she thinks she's gonna always get away with it. So, and if she's putting her own money in, she don't want to lose the money. She don't use other people's money, and she ain't afraid or she ain't shy about doing them favors later on. I mean, like I say, she's a political whore, and that's what she is. That's what she does, and it's proven in the WikiLeaks and all these back deals she be doing. That being said, it's Trump's to lose. I think that he has the support of the people, not of Israel again, but of these so-called white people, these Americans. I think he has the support of the people. I think the Most High has lifted him up, like he lifted up the Pharaoh before him. I think he lifted him up and allowed him to be able to escape these traps that the Democrats have set for him. But it's his to lose. I think that if he's watchful and he's looking around, they're gonna have to do something extraordinary to stop him. Either the assassin's bullet, either breaking the economy, either starting World War III, something in order to stop this from taking place and him sitting on that presidential office. And I mean, personally, I don't think that the election is going to be completed with him taking power in January. I could be wrong. Again, it's just on my own personal opinion. I'm not saying it's from the Most High like that. It's my own personal opinion. I'm thinking that this isn't going to end. This isn't going to end the way the most the American people want it to end. I think that something major is going to happen and it's going to be stopped. Now, if it does end and he does take power and he finds a way to overcome these wicked, powerful forces,
Most High allows it because, again, we all know what's behind the curtain when it comes to the United States government, who's really running the show.
Yeah, the devil's running the show. So even if he did become president, that doesn't mean they're not going to get him in some seance bullshit. And then now he's possessed by some demon spirit, and now he's no longer the same Donald Trump everybody thinks they know. He could become the president, and all of a sudden now he becomes some demon spawn. That could have happened to Ronald Reagan right there, because Ronald Reagan was one way as a TV star, and then became the president all of a sudden we're in the war and shit. So again, America is screwed either which way. He gets into power, he gets taken over by the devil, and now as big a demon as Clinton ever could have been. Okay? Or he doesn't come in, he gets cheated, and now the whole country's burning because now these white motherfuckers want to riot because they're realizing that they got no power in this system. Either which way, America's screwed.
If he didn't get in, so you're thinking that the Edomites would actually riot in this country, that there would be riots because he didn't get in? Or do you think they'll back down?
Well, I think there'll be riots. Ever since Black Lives Matter, these white motherfuckers have been real seeing these Negroes coming together and making change. I mean, now they did what they've done. They've caused police shootings and cops being killed, and their narratives all over the place. They got schools, they got colleges doing all kind of sit-ins and stuff for Black Lives Matter. They got white people, more white people are in Black Lives Matter than black people are in Black Lives Matter. So that just goes to show you the impact that this group funded by Soros has had on not only the political span, but also the way Americans think and talk about race here in America. If it wasn't for Black Lives Matter, this whole bullshit that Clinton be talking about, America's already together, America's still great. There's nothing wrong with America would have more attraction. but because they see all these Black Lives Matter protests, because they see the shootings of the police officers and stuff of that nature, that false narrative of we all need to come together in peace and harmony is being unrooted. What do you think the spin's going to be? As you were saying, you think it's Trump's to lose. Do you foresee anything? Any comeback for Hillary Clinton? You foresee any attempts, or what kind of attempts that may come after this? I think there's like 20 days, 10 days. With Clinton, you have to look at on the table, off the table. Okay, on the table, there's no comeback for her ass. She's been whacked since the very beginning. Under the table, there is, in terms of voter fraud, voter registration fraud, the elites taking out Trump. Obama started World War III to make sure that he holds power. So there's a lot of off-the-table options that Clinton has in order to stay ahead of Trump. Okay, now, will she do? I think she'll do whatever she can to get power.
Whatever she's allowed to do.
Whatever she's allowed to do, she's going to do it. So I don't see her as a comeback necessarily, as into what's going to happen when the elites realize that Trump is going to make it. What are they going to be willing to allow in order to stop him?
Wow. And with that being said, I want to take the time to really talk directly to Israel, the Jews of Scripture, the so-called Negroes, so-called black people in this country. We are facing unprecedented times, and the calamities that are unfolding in all these different spectrums is getting more and more intense. These storms, they had Hurricane Matthew, they had several hurricanes that happened after that. Many people are losing their lives. You really can't think to yourself that you're somehow guaranteed to see who actually, if any one of them even becomes president. There's so many things going on the world stage, and the fact of the matter is, these times are precious. Most High, as far as our humble spiritual opinion, is here. And he's the one that's giving Trump, Esau in these latter days, the ability to go this far. Like you were saying before, there's no way that he should still be in this race. They should have been gotten rid of him. I mean, there's no seemingly benefit to letting this guy go around doing tours talking about the elites, talking about the people, the government behind the government, talking about every conspiracy theory that they've been trying to hide, which is facts, including the riggedness of the election and the political scam that this country is locked in. There's no reason why they would want this guy going out there saying all this stuff, if not the Most High made it to where so far he's being protected. He's not. He hasn't fallen to being poisoned with him gulping down water all day. He hasn't gotten the assassin's bullet. Nothing has happened yet, and it's obviously because of the Most High. You can't go against these devils without the Most High on your side.
My thought, probably more my final thoughts on this because is that Israel, we don't put our faith in man. We don't put our faith in Trump. We don't put our faith in Clinton. We put our faith in Yahshua Mashiach, who died on that cross for the salvation of Israel post this 400-year curse. Okay, we put our faith in the Most High. He's the one that got our back. Okay, we all know that America's Babylon and America's destined to fall. So it's not in Babylon or America or the political process or these politicians or these whomever is going to save the children of Israel. It's going to be the Most High. Who can save you from a nuclear blast? Who can save you from radiation? Who can save you from an earthquake where the building's about to fall on you? Who can save you from a car crash where the car is so mangled that it should take your life? No one can save you from those things but the Most High. And it is coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High that we will be saved and come back to serving the Spirit and the truth and putting our faith in Yahshua Mashiach, that we'll be saved from the ultimate judgment of this country.
Judgment that you can see on the horizon. I mean, the finger is on the Most High.
The writing's on the wall.
Is on the wall. I mean, the writing's on the wall for that.
Ain't nothing going to change that. Not Donald Trump and not Clinton.
Yeah. So as Israelites, in your prayers, take the time to connect to the best of your ability with the Most High. Follow His law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. Follow Him in truth and sincerity. Put your faith in Him.
You know, and the God of Israel. And love your people. And love your people. Love your family. Love your God. Yeah. You know, love each other, because you know what? In all reality, when the shit is the fan, all we got is each other in the Most High. Okay, that's the truth. These white motherfuckers, they're gonna be jumping in your house to save your life. No. Okay, they're not gonna be giving you their money to feed your children. Their rations, you know, their guns to protect your household. They're gonna be shooting you like ferrets. Okay, they'll be going out and trying to kill you, mother. Just like what happened in Katrina. In Katrina, there was gangs of white Edomites rolling around and pick up looking for black people to kill them. You know, they were cops on the bridges, preventing these black people from going into other cities, treating them like some sort of illegal alien. You're treating them like illegal aliens. Well, treating them worse than illegal aliens, because they actually have a border. Yeah. You know, because they was actually trying to create the border in the middle of fucking nowhere to stop these blacks, so-called Negroes, from being able to cross over to fresh water, to be able to cross over for food, cross over for being able to go into security, man, a place to sleep, you know, security. And yet the police, who you would think is there to supposedly protect you, they're blocking the roadway, they're blocking the bridge, threatening to shoot people to keep them into that catastrophe flooded area. So the point is that we can't put our faith in these heathens. No. We can't put our faith in their political process. No. They're hypocrites. They're going to always be hypocrites until they're judged and finally put down. That's it. We're just sitting here watching, laughing, joking, you know, just watching the show, because the Most High is going to come through and knock all of them off of their high horse. Most definitely. You know, and again, these are troublesome times. You know, the reason why the Most High, the men of the Most High out here telling you guys this stuff, and you know, we're just another voice in the chorus of voices that the Most High has raised up in this time to really hail his coming, to really push his agenda to the best of our ability, so that everybody, you know, they know their role, they know their place in the story that the Most High has put together, so that they can't say that they never are people, you know, who come to this show, who come to the Bible studies, who come to this channel, or any of the other things that we have out there to push this truth. So none of y'all can say that you didn't ever heard anything about any of this stuff. All right. Well, do you have any other final thoughts, Priest of the Most High? Well, again, you know, my thought is my people, the children of Israel. Ask the Most High for forgiveness. Come back to Him in spirit and truth. Come back to serving the law, statutes, and commandments. Put your faith in Yeshua HaMashiach. And you know, and do the best you can to live this way straight. You know, we're patiently waiting on the Lord to come through, as He has promised through His word that He will. Okay, we don't put our heart in America, Babylon. We don't put our heart in these politicians, Trump, or in Clinton. We don't put our hearts in any of these motherfuckers, because they're all our enemies. Most definitely. And if it wasn't Clinton screwing us over, it'd be Trump. It'd be Trump. It'd be some other white motherfucker. Because somebody got to be on the bottom right to make America great again. I mean, let's just be 100%. Somebody's got to be on the bottom. We're the ones that are on the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so we have nothing personal against Trump, though. No. Like I said, he's good for his people. Yeah, okay. And we can understand that. We can understand that. I mean, he's for his people. We can understand that too. You know, we're not envious of them. We're not, you know, a hatred of them. Not at all. You know, they're going to do what they need to do to try to make their country great again. But our love is not in this country. Our love is in the Most High, who's going to bring us back to our land, which is Jerusalem, baby. Yep. Land of milk and honey. That's what we're looking forward to. We're just watching this with popcorn and watching see the sparks fly. Yep, most definitely. You know, Trump is entertaining, so we can watch him and be entertained by his anecdotes. Okay, but we know that the real prize is in the Most High coming back for us. Oh, yeah. Will you be ready? Will you be ready? That's the question. Will you be ready spiritually? Will you be ready physically for the coming of our God, the God of Israel? Wow. That's so very, very, very true. Well, you know, we want to thank you, Priest of Most High, Sakuma Z. Lambew, for joining us on this special edition of End Times Current Events, the third presidential and final presidential debate analysis and breakdown. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and we will be looking forward to seeing you guys again next time. Thank you very much, Priest of the Most High Sakuma, for joining us. Again, thank you for watching. It's Priest of the Most High, Sakuma Zingami Lambew. Thank you for watching End Times Current Events. See you again next time.
Are you ready, O Israel, for the end of days? Planet Nibiru, polar shifts, gigantic meteorites the size of cities hitting the earth? You better have your Yahshua HaMashiach seatbelt on, because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Lampshades Ministry is an Israelite ministry from the house of Judah, and we do not accept tithes and offerings of money. The word of God is for free and not for sale, bruh, at any price. I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew. Join us next time if you're still breathing and one of these worldwide calamities haven't ghosted your ass. This is the Lampshades, current events, end of days. Shalom, bruh. Wake up, so-called African Americans, Black Americans, let me tell you the truth. Liberty or a niece, the choice of a Jew. You're a Hebrew, brother, you're a Hebrew. Your story don't begin in America, for forever, you were born as a Jew, made a slave in Egypt and all around the world. You're a Hebrew, brother, you're a Hebrew. 400 years of captivity, the facts don't lie. You can bury the truth, but the truth won't die. You can stain on glass, won't change the facts. That our Lord Jesus Christ is black. You can rewrite the past, that don't really fly. You can remake a movie, you can try and deny. You can paint him white on the cross, can't change the facts. Lord Jesus is black. The greatest deception was turning day to night. If we say black Jesus is why. Nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. God created man in his very own image. What the Father has begun, the Son will finish. The people of God spoke Hebrew, not Yiddish. What the white man destroyed, the Lord will replenish. The people of God has the mark of the Lord, identifying factors that no one can ignore. Peter, bronze, hair of wool, and among the poor, Jesus Christ was a black man waiting at the front door, screaming, let me in. If you do, I will dwell in you. Wash your feet, make your heart brand new. Let me in, I will take away your sin. I will love you like my kin. Don't reject the Hebrew skin. Let me in. The true Hebrews were meant to be a blessing to the nations, but their heritage was erased during slavery, and they were replaced by fake Jews. Deuteronomy 28 tells the story. Nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Yeah, man, you gotta know your Bible, man. Revelations chapter 2, verse 9, and Revelation chapter 3, verse 9 speak of the true Jews. We the true Jews, you the fake nation. You can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop.